Hey everyone, it's Tyler and Michelle Strike from Universal Rackets, and in this video, we're going to be going over 3 ready positions for advanced pickleballers to use in their next pickleball game. Regardless of what level that you are, if you can use these 3 ready positions, you're going to completely level up your pickleball game. I feel like so many players, they feel like, oh, I can't hit fastballs, I struggle against bangers, I don't have fast hands, and why? Because they're not in the proper ready position. You can tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, what it comes down to is the questions that we get asked often as pickleball coaches. How can I defend a pop-up? How can I have faster hands? How am I able to avoid getting body bagged and hit with the ball? Well, the answer is your ready position and your other 3 things. I almost said a couple of them, and these other 3 things we're going to mention in this video.
So make sure you stay tuned for this whole video, and you're going to learn the 3 situations that you're going to get in the exact 3 ready positions for you to do it. You don't not have fast hands. It's not because you don't have it. It's not like you're born with it. Some people have faster hands and reflexes than others, but it's these 3 things.
And you can learn it.
And you can learn it if you watch this video. So make sure you stay tuned, and we will get into it right now. Let's go. A lot of players, they struggle with having fast hands. They can't react to fast balls, speed ups, because they are not in the proper ready position. Also, if you stay tuned, we won't just be telling you tips and tricks on the proper ready position up at the kitchen so you can get twice as fast hands, but also we're going to be teaching you how to shrink the kitchen. And one key thing that pros do that many amateur players don't do that will take a lot of time and effort away from their opponents. It's this thing called shrinking. So, what do you think about being ready at the kitchen?
I'm just tired of getting hit with a ball or having my partner get hit with the ball because we're not properly ready to return the next ball. Like, you think that I'm going to speed the ball up you and I think I'm going to get you, and then it comes back at me and then I look silly.
Yeah, and like one big thing I think for at least our level, right, is we understand the proper ready position. Okay, paddle up and down front over the kitchen. But one thing that we both have to do is make sure that we're not cheating backhand. I like to always be in my ready position here, and I'm always leaning towards here. So if anyone speeds it up at my forehand, my dominant shoulder or hip, I'm going to chicken wing every single time. So I think a big thing about proper ready position, we can get started with it, is being in the proper anticipation position. And what I mean by that is anticipate where your opponent's going to hit. Instead of being here in this backhand, if you see your opponent like here, I'm going to move over to the side. It's called shifting. So instead of being here, I'm going to move over to the side if they're going to speed the ball up at me. Why? Because if they go over here, where's the ball going to be? It's going to be out. Also, if I hit a super high ball to my opponent, maybe I'm going to take a couple steps back and be in this position. So I feel like being in the proper ready position is highly based upon anticipating.
I agree. And another thing that I do feel like I need to mention as well is we all know the conscious ready position. You're supposed to be in your legs in athletic stance and your paddle out in front. But that's very different than actually completing that on the court. So I know I'm supposed to be in ready position after every single ball that I hit, but when I'm trying to speed the ball up at Tyler, I don't get my hands back actually into that ready position to defend the ball.
And that's a huge thing.
That's going to be a huge game changer for some people, and I know it was a big change in my game.
Yeah, and the higher level of pickleball that you guys play, the more that the balls are going to come back. The faster that you hit, the faster that the balls are going to come back. So what happened with me is we would go to the park, we would go Carlin Park, wherever we play. We're playing in Texas now. Pretty cool. Don't go too over in the shade because you're not going to be in the camera. I know you want that shade. Maybe you can position it while I'm talking so we can be in the shade. How about that? But one big thing when I was playing, I would play tons of rec play, right? Rec play at the park, pickup games, so much fun. Amazing people, don't get me wrong. But what I would do is I would speed the ball up and then I would automatically win the point. Because if you're playing anyone 3-5 and below, if you speed the ball up, you're probably going to win. Whoever can hit the ball as hard as possible wins the point. But then what would happen is I would get invited, I start getting into the higher level pickleball groups, and I would speed the ball up. And I would speed the ball up and I would be like, okay, I'm going to win the point. And then what would happen? They would hit the ball twice as hard right back at me. which was difficult because I was playing all these different people in rec, easy, accessible pickleball, easy, speed up, win. But now, after I sped the ball up, I would have to be ready. After you hit the speed up, you want to be ready for the cleanup. So one big thing for your ready position with the speed up, and the ready position varies upon what type of shot, where you are in the court, like I said, in the anticipation phase, is after I speed the ball up, I want to make sure that my paddle ends up where I started. I want to start where I finish where I start. So again, I'm going to speed the ball up, and then I'm going to be here. Now, another thing with the ready position isn't just the paddle position, it's one thing about your body position. What I was doing after that is I would speed the ball up, and okay, maybe I got my paddle up, but I would be moving back for some reason, or I would be on my back feet. What I need to do is after you speed the ball up, look, my body is leaning over the kitchen line. I have my paddle out in front. I'm not back here waiting. I'm speeding up and I'm out in front. Now, what if we're playing lower level players? The ball's not going to come back, but you still want to be in the proper position.
Yeah,
so let's show that a couple times, okay? So here's what you want to do. Every single time that Michelle speeds up the ball, she's always going to be in the proper position. And this is what we like to say, like when you guys are playing in rec play. When players are playing in rec play makes you bad. You got to drill more than you play, right? But like we were just drilling over there. Drilling's not as fun as playing fun pickleball, right? And what we've experienced is when you play a little bit lower level, the people are cooler, in my opinion. Like it's more fun to go play with people a little bit low of a level than go out play with all these like pros that think that they're so good and they're just like they're walking on a pedestal, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. It's okay to play those people, but you have to implement these things when you play. When you play people that are lower than you, you still need to go with the proper mechanics. And what I mean by that is I can win the point against Nancy, watch your foot, I don't want to hit you, going like this, and then knowing I'm going to win the point because I hit the ball harder, right? But even if Nancy's going to miss that ball every single time, what I should do when I'm playing rec play is I should be like this. Now, if I'm playing Ben Johns the next day, I'm going to be in the proper ready position. It's like studying something. You got to study the right thing every single time. Even if you know 2 + 2 is 4, you don't want to study 2 + 2 is 3. What do you think about that?
It's 4.
In general, like practicing what you should be, even if you're playing a lower level.
When you play a lower level, you're going to play to your lower level unless you're very disciplined, like he said.
And having discipline is what can separate you from
because you're going to see different balls, you're going to see different serves, you're going to see different lack of drop shots or a lot of more drives.
And now you're ready for the next ball, just like that. So if you can think that once you're done, that your paddle ends up in the same place, that's perfect. I like to think that the end of my speed up is part of that shot.
Yeah.
Like if I think that the speed up stroke is actually part of the ready position or ready position is part of speed up stroke, you're going to be good.
Let's talk about a drill that people can use to practice that. And that's what I would need to do to practice this.
Same thing that we did.
Right, so just like over and over again. So someone else has a ball cart or a bunch of balls and they dink the ball to you, you speed up, and then they reset it.
Yeah.
And you can continue playing the point out up to a certain amount of points.
Yes, and one big thing that I did say, and I apologize if I was a little bit like firm about, is like, hey, slow it down. We're recording a video. You don't have to hit 100 miles per hour, because when we're recording videos, we want to try to make the balls every single time and not miss them, so we don't have to go in and crop it. But another thing, like even when you're drilling, you want to hit the ball 50% power. A great thing that I would recommend is if you guys are trying to learn the speed up and the cleanup, is have the person go 50%. And then once you get that, work your way up in speed. The reason why is because you can get the feel for it. So what I'd recommend is like start out when you speed up these balls, not just for a video, but in general, like, okay, the first ones are going to be like this. They're going to be slower, right? And the counter is going to be slower. Then when you start getting that and getting the feel, then you can start going faster and implementing more speed.
And there's something really important to realize here as well. If you, like when I first started playing pickleball, I didn't have fast hands. It was impossible. I never played tennis. I don't have fast hands, especially at such a close distance on the court. You're never going to acquire fast hands if you aren't practicing this. Like you're not just going to walk out on the court one day and someone's going to speed the ball up for you and then you can finally return it. You have to hit the ball so many times back and forth at this
Over
distance
and over, yeah.
to develop that mind-body connection to have your paddle out in front at the right time and realize that I'm coming too far over this way, to refine that shot and practice it over and over again.
Yes.
Until you actually see it come out in a game or a tournament.
And you know, that's huge, because there's many players that just, oh, I'm going to go out and play with it. The reason why players are so good at doing these, why you'll see like higher level players speed up, clean up easy, is because they've practiced it over and over and over again. Right. They're not good at this shot because they just walked down on court and they did it once. They're good at this shot because they did it 5,000 times. It's like the Bruce Lee quote, I don't fear a man that practices 1,000 kicks. They practice one kick 1,000 times. So the only way that you're going to practice this kick or this speed up 1,000 times is by doing it over and over and over again. I think it's huge, though, slowing it down.
And I have a great example, too, from when I first started playing, because I feel like a lot of people that are watching this video are new to pickleball. Don't you remember when we were playing at Lifetime and I was asking Alex Miller, like, how do I stop getting points won on me by the drives? Like, you guys, you would drive the ball so hard and fast at me that I would barely be able to return or block the drive back.
Yeah.
And what was his answer? Have Tyler stand at the baseline and drive 50 balls at you until you can find a way to return that ball.
And now, look at you. You can every single time we drive it at you.
Whenever people drive at me, I'm like more like 90% returning it than I was like 30% when I first started, because I didn't see it before. I never felt that happening with my body and my paddle together. And it takes those repetitions and the practice, the intentional practice, to be able to return really fast, hard drive. So if you have trouble with that, that's another way to get over that hump, and it will get your body and your mind on the same page with returning fast balls like at your face and shoulder area, because it kind of goes hand in hand with the speed ups and the fast hands.
So that's for speed ups, proper ready position for speed ups. Do it over and over again. Like you, again, with the drives. Now, anytime that I hit the ball hard at you, you hit it back with ease because you've seen it so many times. It's not going to be fun. It wasn't fun getting 15 drives at your face continually, but you learn how to deal with it.
I'm like, oh, you're a banger.
Yeah.
You're a banger. No, you're just playing pickleball, and I can't return your bang.
All right, so we went over the speed ups. Now we're going to be talking about anticipation, okay? And what I mean by that is what type of ready position to have based upon the ball that you hit. I want you to think a general rule of thumb, and Michelle, go over there real quick. Just think the ball back to me. 50%, right, is when, this is a great rule of thumb. The higher you hit the ball, the lower you want your paddle to be. So the higher I hit the ball to my opponent, the lower I want my ready position to be. The lower I hit the ball to my opponent, the higher I want my ready position to be. Once again, if I hit the ball high to Michelle, I should have my ready position low. If I hit the ball low to Michelle, I should have my ready position high. Now, why should we do that? Think, if I pop the ball up in the air, where's the only place that Michelle can go? She's hitting from above the net. She's going to be going down into the court. So if my paddle's here, look what I'm able to do. I pop the ball up, she's going to go down in the court, and now I'm going to be able to get the ball back. Okay, what if Michelle goes at me? Okay, here we are. You can hit it hard, don't hit it at me, please. But go above at my shoulders, right? I have my paddle low, go at my shoulders. Okay, she was trying to be nice, not go at me. But if she hit it hard, where would it go? It would go long, okay? If she slowed it down like that, clearly I would kill it. But let's try it one more time. If I pop the ball up in there and she hits hard, it's going to go long every single time. So you don't need your ready position to be up high, because again, whenever you put the ball high, you put the ball low. Now, why do I want my ready position to be up when I hit the ball low to Michelle? If I hit the ball low to Michelle and I'm going to have my ready position up so I can smash the ball down at her. Think, if you hit the ball low to your opponent, the only thing that they can do to get the ball back into the court and keep the point going is hitting the ball up over a net. They have to hit from low to high, not high to low. So again, if you ever see your opponent on defense, you see your opponent go super low, you see their head go down, then you're going to put your paddle up.
And that's a really good technical thing to use against someone who has great fast hands like Tyler, or anyone that does hit the ball hard, speed the ball up, and are very aggressive on the court. Every time I hit the ball in this area at him and I think I'm going to speed the ball up and end the point before he can, I will eat all of those balls and I'll feel like an idiot, because he has those hands. He has that ability to counter that ball back at me. The only way that I can actually get points off of him is if I put the ball at his feet. Because if he has to come down here to return the ball, he cannot attack me like he can up here. So when you're playing someone with great hands, the only place you should ever be putting the ball is at their feet.
100%. And there will be players as you get higher up in pickleball that are able to counter the ball right back and just hit it hard really quickly. So that's a big thing. Now, the last thing that we're going to be talking about, so we talked about anticipation, high and low. Also, one thing that I want you to know is like, what did I do when I popped the ball up in the air? I moved back, right? I popped the ball up in the air. What did I do? I moved back. Why did I pop the ball up in the air and move back? Because it gives you time. If you pop the ball up in there and you move back, it gives you time to react more rather than staying up here. So the only time that you should move back in pickleball is when you pop the ball up in the air to your opponent, then you're going to move back to give you time. Now, Michelle, you're going to go over there, and we're going to be talking about, what is it called again? I forget. I was talking about it before. Oh my God. What's this called? Leaning over the kitchen.
Shrinking the court?
Shrinking the court. I was looking for a S word, SH, I thought it was shading, but this was shading. This is shrinking. So this is where normal players do, okay? So we're here, we're going back and forth, and we're just dinking, okay? My ready position's here. That's good, look, proper ready position. I'm not down, this is beginners, right? But intermediates are like this, right? So they're ready position, and then they're here. Ready position, here. One more, ready position, here. Okay, now watch where my paddle's gonna go. I'm gonna go here, my normal ready position, I'm gonna put down right here. So we're gonna put a ball right here, okay? Now, this is where higher level pickleball players go. This is called shrinking, okay? We're gonna have a visual dot because there's wind right here. This is where higher level pickleballers go. Now watch, my ready position. After I dink, look what's gonna happen. I'm going to lean over the kitchen. So after I dink, look, I'm leaning all the way out. What this is doing, not only it's allowing me to now not take balls up off the bounce, right? If I have my hands in here, that means if she hits a deep dink, I'm gonna have to take it on a hop and go back. And where, if you pop the ball up, where do you want your paddle to be? Down, okay? What I'm gonna do now is after I dink, kind of like the speed up mentality, is after I speed up, my paddle's going to end up out here, okay? After I speed up again, my paddle's going to end up out here. Also, I'm not standing like a tin soldier. I'm getting in and I'm shrinking the kitchen. Now look, I'm covering half the kitchen. If I put my paddle down, now I can extend all the way out here rather than here. So I can take the balls out of the air. I can lean over, and then also, what does that do for you?
It puts me on defense and you on offense.
Isn't it weird to see someone like, it's like
scary.
Hogging the kitchen.
It's
kind
scary.
of, right?
It's intimidating.
Especially too, if you hit like a shallow dink, and now I take it off the air. So here, hit me a couple dinks, and now I'm gonna shrink the court. Look, she hits me high, boom, and I can take it out there and win the point, right? I love this paddle, the new Invicta Pro Vanguard. Make sure to check it out. Link in the description, use your code INF-Universal once again. But it's a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
So if you can shrink the court, it's going to make it so, you're going to be so much better off. And it's going to put pressure on your opponent. It's going to allow you to take higher balls out of the air. Think, a ball here is going to be, because of gravity, is going to be at a higher height than when it gets here. So essentially, the earlier that you can take the ball out of the air, the higher up you're going to be able to hit it. Also, you're going to take yourself away from getting those short hops and having to pop the ball up. So that's a huge thing. Make sure you shrink the court. And again, every single time that you hit, just like the speed up, lean over as much as you can to take the ball.
By not only lean, but squat down in your
Yes,
in
and
your
that's
legs.
huge
like
because
your glutes should be on fire when you're done playing.
Because look, if I lean and I'm here, look,
Back
it's here, but now if I lean and I'm here, now I'm getting all the way in. So make sure you lean over and you're able to take the ball more out of the air.
Yeah.
If you guys can do these 3 different types of ready positions, again, ready position number 1 for the speed up or anytime that you're aggressive, you guys speed up when you clean up. Ready position number 2, the higher you hit the ball, the lower you want your paddle. The lower you hit the ball, the higher you want your paddle. And number 3, you're shrinking the court. You're gonna be so much better off when you play pickleball. Make sure you anticipate, make sure you drill, and again, when you are on the left side, don't always be in a backhand grip. I think this is huge, and one more thing that I do want to mention is, like, I saw this one tip from Colin Johns and I was all about it. It made my life so much easier for a little bit of time, and that is leaning towards the backhand side. Why? Because if you are a recreational pickleball player, 80% of the shots are going to be backhand. Only 10% or 20%, so I can't do the math. We literally just traveled to Texas, and we're super tired, delirious. But on this side, it's going to be a forehand, okay? So what did I do? I would always try to cheat my forehand a little bit. So now, oh, well, Colin John said being a backhand, cool. Now I'm able to get to most balls. But what happened though is now I'm starting to get chicken winged over here. Yeah. So make sure you play with this backhand tip with caution, I would say. Use with caution. Think of it like alcohol. You don't want to drink too much. Also, you want to drink in the right setting, not when you're filming pickleball videos or anything like that. So what I mean by that is if I'm on the right side, and I'm a right-handed player, around the middle is always going to be my backhand. That might be somewhere to do the backhand. And what is Colin Johns? Colin Johns is a right side player. Kind of makes sense. But if you're on the left side and you're in backhand, this is where I go wrong because we play mixed doubles. I play left side and I'm here, and now look, I can't get the middle. That's why you don't always want to do it. So I would say if you're a right-handed player, use it on the left side. If you're a left-handed player, use it on the right side, and that's going to be so much better off. If you guys want to check out the awesome new paddles, they look cool, super checkered, got great feel, great spin, super gritty. Yeah. Selkirk Invicta Pro Vanguard Midweight Pickleball paddles, link description, user code INF-Universal, INF-Universal, get a gift card with your purchase. Make sure to click, subscribe, share with a friend, check all of our links, follow us on Instagram, and we will see you guys next time on court.